complicated select reusable component, as well as list reusable component, as well as table reusable component. All these things completed or not? Up to okay. Any questions so far? Okay, okay then. Now, I'll write one simple program. Can you answer this output? Okay, just write it. 1.html. After that, I will change the name. Take one component. Control A, Control C. Apply here. Which one is required? Just keep the output. Remaining all you can remove simply. Okay, just remove. Yeah, perfect. My requirement is like first time I want to show Sachin. Okay, in my browser. First time, okay, at the time of loading, I want to show what? Sachin. After exactly 5 seconds, okay, first time load Sachin. From there, if you calculate 5 seconds, after that, that Sachin turned to be Dhoni. Okay, from there next 5 seconds, okay, that Dhoni turned to be Kohli. That is my requirement. Okay, so how we can do this? First time load, I want Sachin here. So can we load it? How we can load? H1 Sachin. So you want to do like this? If you hard code like this, okay, first time load Sachin only, after 5 seconds Sachin only, next 5 seconds Sachin only, always Sachin only because you hard coded. Okay, but my requirement is not like hard coded. First time Sachin, after that Dhoni, after that Kohli. Then the value keep on changing. That changes has to reflect within the browser. Then how we can handle the data? By using which variable you want me to handle? By using state variable. By using state variable. So that can you put that? Can we write the state variable? Okay, how we can create the state variable? This dot state is my variable. Inside this, I want to create my own variable. What is the variable name? Anything you can put it. My name is like such. Perfect. Here can I remove it? Okay, and then can we add like what? This dot state dot name. Perfect. So for good. Okay, done. Now can we run it? Open with less. Yes. Okay, it's working as expected or not? After 5 seconds, I want to make this Sachin like Dhoni. That means after 5 seconds, I want to update my state variable or not. I want to update my state variable like what? Sachin. Sachin to Dhoni. After 5 seconds, I want to perform some operation. How we can? Wait for 5 seconds, do one operation. Yes. Then we can go with what? Set timeout or not. Not set interval. Set interval, keep on doing one operation. Okay, for each and every 5 seconds. My requirement is not like keep on doing. Okay, just after 5 seconds, do my operation one time. That's it. One time operation. Okay, from there, next 5 seconds, do one more operation. Stop it. That's it. Okay, so that can we write that set timeout? Okay, how we can write it? My set timeout is the method. Okay, my set timeout is the method which take how many arguments? Can anyone guess? Set timeout and set interval take how many arguments? These are the basic things. 2 arguments. One is like your callback function. Another one is like your interval. Okay, so that this is my callback function. The next one is like what? Your interval. Interval. How much time? How much do you want me to give? 5 seconds. 5 seconds is nothing but 5,000 milliseconds. 5 seconds is nothing but 5,000 milliseconds. Always it takes in the form of milliseconds. Okay, here after 5 seconds, okay, this particular function is going to execute. Okay, can we write one alert? For example, alert 5 seconds completed. Okay. Okay, after that, next 5 seconds. Okay, I want to perform one more operation. Can anyone tell how can we? Next 5 seconds, I want to perform some operation. So let's try this one. Let's try this one. Okay, calculate. From here, next 5 seconds is nothing but what? At the time of loading, it's like 10 seconds or not. Loading to no. 10 seconds or not. Now, can I write like 10 seconds completed? Okay. Now can you come here, refresh this. First time searching after 5 seconds. Yes, 5 seconds completed. Next. Yes, 10 seconds completed. Yeah, it stopped. Okay, so for good. Okay. Now the requirement. What do you want me to do? Can anyone guess? What do you want me to do? After 5 seconds, my state variable value searching should change like what? Don't. So how we can change one state variable? By using set state method. So can we call the set state method? My this dot set state is the method. Which take how many arguments? My set state method take how many arguments? It's take multiple arguments. For now, we discussed only one argument, that is an object as an argument. An object as an argument. Which take how many properties? Any number of properties it will take. Well, because it's an object. But here, which property you want me to update? How many properties you want me to update? Only one property, that is name. To what? Yes. Now, after 10 seconds, I want to update my Dhoni to what? Okay. Yes. Okay. Let me inspect it. Okay. See this. Can we dock in the bottom? Yes. Okay. This is my console. Can I refresh my page? Yeah. Just 5 seconds completed. Okay. 10 seconds completed. Yes. What is this error? What is this error? Can anyone guess? Can anyone analyze this one? This dot set state is not a function. This dot set state is not a function. Can anyone guess? This dot set state is not a function. Why it's coming like this? Okay. First time, line number 41. Can you go there first? Okay. 41 character. This is okay. You can come here. This is a better way. Go there. Okay. This is the one. Script level 11. Okay. This is the one. 11th line. Okay. That is the characters count. 41 everything. Now come here. Come here. This is the one. Okay. There is that. From here, this is the one or not script level. Okay, this is the 11th one. Now, this dot set state is not a function, is my answer. Okay, that means what? That is my error message, not answer, error message. Okay, now if you observe here, this is my object. My set state method coming from where? React.component. React.component. My React.component members inherited into where? Yap. If my this is really pointing to Yap, inside my this, my set state should be there or not? My set state should be there. But here, can we check, is really my this is pointing to my Yap or not? Yes or no? My this is nothing but an object. Which object? My Yap object, right? Okay, can I put the debugger here? Okay. Now come here. Can I refresh my page? Yeah. Okay, see this. My constructor executed is nothing but my this object created, my app, my this is pointing to my app. After 5 seconds, okay, my set state method called. Yes. Called. Okay. Now see my this. See my this. My this is pointing to what? My this is pointing to what? Inside my set timeout. My this is pointing to window or not? Window or not? Why it's pointing to window, you know? If you observe here, this is like a normal JavaScript function only or not? Okay, if any function is going to call, okay, by default, my this is pointing to what? Any JavaScript function. By default, it's pointing to window or not? General. Okay, now, if my this is pointing to window there, my this dot set state is there or not there inside window? Inside window, my this dot set state is not there. Where is my this dot set state? My this is pointing to app. That time my set state is there. So my this dot set state is what? Undefined. If you call undefined as a method, then that will give me an error like what? This dot set state is not a function or not. So that, okay, here this is my JavaScript function. This function by default, my current object is pointing to window. Instead of window, can you pointing to my own object? Which object? My app object. Okay, that is here. My inside my constructor, my this is pointing to app only. Okay, here my this in this context, my this is what not window, app. But here in this particular function context, my this is pointing to window or not. Now, can you make my own object is available like a current object for this particular function? How we can bind one object to this particular function? How we can bind? I have one function is there. I want to make one object is available to that particular function like a current object. Then how we can? How we can? By using bind method or not. So that this is like anonymous function. If you have the function name, then that time you can put like function name dot bind of my current object like this. But here is my function having name. Is my function having name? This is my function. It's an anonymous function. It's not having name. It's not having name. If it is not having the name, then that time my function open here, close here. Here itself you can bind it. Here itself you can bind it like this. Understand? So that here also you can bind like this or not. So bind of my current object. Now, if you bind this object, this can anyone tell? Out of this function, inside the constructor, any this pointing to my app only or not? Okay, inside this function only, my this is pointing to what? Window. Now this is pointing to app. Now we binded this app object to my function. Now onwards, inside the function, my this is pointing to what? My app or not? Now my this is pointing to app. Then the time, can we use the set state? Yes, you can use it. You can use it. Now say this. If I refresh my page after 5 seconds. Yes. Okay. My this is pointing to what? In the past, it's like window. Now it's like what? It's like my app or not. Okay. Now, so that it's like 𝕨𝕬𝕟𝕤 and 𝕨𝕚𝕣𝕟. Instead of this one, can I write like console.log? Okay, simply console.log. Now come here. Okay, can I remove all these things? Yes. 5 seconds completed. Turn to the 𝕨𝕚𝕟𝕤. Next 5 seconds is nothing but 10 seconds completed. Turn to the 𝕨𝕨 or not. 𝕨𝕨 or not. Okay, done. This is one way. This is one way. Is there another way? Is there? Can anyone guess? Is there any other way? Is there? Is there any other way? Is there? I don't want to bind like this. I don't want to bind like this. Is there any other way? Is there? Yes, there has another way. Is there? That is like a arrow functions. Okay, by using arrow functions, we can. My arrow functions by default, it's working like an lexical scope. Okay, behave like a lexical scope. Do you know lexical scope? Lexical scope means my function, it is always take my parent scope as it's my own scope. Parent means next level scope as its own, as like my own scope. Next level is nothing but for this particular function. Next level is nothing but what? Out of this function only. This spot and this spot or not. Here my this is pointing to what? App. Here my this is pointing to my app or not. Understand or not? Okay. No, not like that. See, 10,000 milliseconds, 5,000 milliseconds is nothing but first time load. The question is, it should execute after 15 seconds. No, at first time load, okay, starting 0 to 5,000 milliseconds is nothing but what? 5 seconds. This is executed. 0 to 1,000 milliseconds is nothing but 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, this will execute, not 15. Okay, don't calculate from here to 10,000 milliseconds. Don't calculate like that. Starting. Okay, this one and this one both are executed at first time load, right? Okay, from there you have to calculate. Okay, now see this. Now, this is my set timeout. This is my set timeout. This is my function. It's a normal function. This function you can make like a arrow function. You know, right? Arrow functions. Arrow functions, you know, syntax. Okay, if you don't know, simple. It's like this. I have a function f1. I want to turn to be arrow. I want to make this one like an arrow function. How we can make? It's very simple thing. This is my function representation. This is my body. Okay, this body it belongs to this function, so that you can. This is my arrow function. That's it. What is my function name? So here, can we assign this function to my f1? That's it. This is my syntax for my arrow function. Now tell me, my f1 contains what? An arrow function or not? Okay. Now, anonymous function, for example. Anonymous function. Yes, this is my anonymous function. No name, nothing. I want to turn to be this one like an arrow. So how we can? This is my function. This is my function body. This body is belongs to this function. So we make it as an arrow. That's it. Okay, this is my arrow function for anonymous. No name, nothing. Now, one more. I have a function is there. F2. It returns 10. Okay, tell me, my F2 contains how many statements? F2 contains how many statements? Only one statement is there. What is that? Return 10. If you want to convert this one into arrow, very simple thing. In a single line, we can write it. How you know? This is my function. This is my function. This is my function body. But here, only one line of code is there. Then that time, that code directly you can write like this. That's it. Okay, you can ask the question like, hey, you said like one code. This is one line of code, right? Okay, the total what is missing? Return missing. Okay, yes, you can write return. But in your arrow function, only one statement is there. My arrow function treat that statement like a return statement only. Treat that statement like a return statement only. So that this one and this one both are like same. Multiple statements are there. Okay, here console.log of yes1 or something. Multiple statements are there. There is no other option for you. You should have to keep this one. You should have to keep your body. Inside the body, you have to write like this. Only one statement is there. That statement is going to treat like a return statement of my arrow function. Okay. The main difference between the arrow function and my normal function is my normal function always scope is like what? My own scope. Okay, this is pointing to what? Window like that. But my arrow function always takes my next level scope as like my own scope. Okay, here what is the scope is that that scope is going to inherit it here. Okay, is like a lexical scope. Okay, my arrow functions always take my next level scope as like my own scope. Now, if you come here, okay, now go to my 1.html. Here, this is my set timeout. It's a normal function. Can we convert into arrow function? How we can convert? Function keyword you can remove. This is my function and this is my body. How you can represent? Yes, this is my arrow. Now, if it is like an arrow, by default it's like a lexical scope. Lexical scope is nothing but what? My next level scope is nothing but line number 32. Which scope? My this is pointing to what? My this is pointing to my next level scope. It's going to own it like what? Own it like my own scope. So that my this is pointing to what? My this is pointing to my app here. This is pointing to my app here. Now see, if my this is pointing to my app, my this dot set state is like what? That state should be there. Now see, will it work or not? Yes. Second turn to be Dhoni, and next one is like my Dhoni turn to be Kohli. After 5 seconds, see my this is pointing to what? Yeah, this is not pointing to window. Why? Because next level scope is but see, this is my function, right? Okay, this is my local scope. Okay, out of my function is nothing but what? This area, all are like next level scope only or not. Okay, next level only or not, parent only or not, you can say. Okay, it is going to own it. Understand or not? Okay, out of this function, simply you can say out of this function, inner here, my this is pointing to what? Window. Okay, out of this one is nothing but this area, this area. Next function is what? Okay, this area, all are like, okay, all are like pointing to what? My this is pointing to app. That one is going to own it. That is the way it's going to work. Which one? My arrow functions. Up here, okay. Understand or not? By default, it's like a lexical scope. Okay, that terminology is important. Okay, I don't this so now. I don't want this one also. Is there any other way? Is there? Is there any other way? Is there? Can anyone guess? Any other way? Very simple thing. Now, can anyone tell? Inside the constructor, my this is pointing to what? Inside the constructor, my this is pointing to what? Inside the constructor, my this is pointing to app, right? Okay, perfect. Can I write this variable like this? Any problem with this statement? Can anyone explain? Line number 18. Line number 18. It's a variable I created. Holds with this. Holds with on this. Okay. Now, can anyone guess? My underscore this is my own variable here. My underscore this, any name you can put it, X, Y, Z. Okay, any name you can give it. Any name you can give it. Okay, this X variable is the local variable to my constructor or not? Agreed? Local variable to my constructor. Inside the constructor, wherever you want, you can use this X or not. Okay, here, line number 13 to line number 59. Wherever you want, you can use it or not. My X. Can anyone tell? My X contains what? My X contains which object? My X contains this. My this is pointing to what? Here. My X contains what? My app object or not? App object. So that when you come here, can I write like this? Any problem with this code? My X is pointing to what? My app object. Inside my app object, right? My set state is there. Any problem with this code? Okay, here also required what? My this is pointing to app only. Okay, instead of app, okay, instead of this, just already my this is holds with the X. The X is the local variable. I can use wherever you want, wherever I want. Yes, you can use it. Why? Because it's a local variable of my constructor is nothing but in any place you can use it. See this. Refresh my page. Now come here. My Sachin turned to be Dhoni, and my Dhoni turned to be Kohli. Okay, here my X is pointing to what? Yes, my X in the app or not. Why? Because my X holds that value. That's it. Here there is no bindings, nothing. So for good or not, these many ways are there to make your current object is available to one place. That means to make one object, whatever the object, it's not a matter. Okay, I have one object. In this case, my object is like app object. Okay, in another case, my object is like N110. That's also an object, your wish. Understand or not? Okay, so that can I change this name like bind current object, binding object. Current object. Okay, these many ways are there. These many ways are there. Okay, so very simple thing. Bind method. Okay, why we go for bind method means we can bind my own object is available. Okay, I have one function is there. I want to bind one object is available like a current object. That's it. Okay, simple example here. Can I go here? Okay, here I have an object where y equals to n110. This object may be any object, maybe this pointing to app object, another object. I have one function is there. I have one function is there. Okay, here my console, here you can put like debugger. That's it. If I call my F1, here my this is pointing to what? Here my this is pointing to what? Window generally. But my requirement is inside my function, my this is pointing to my own object. My object may be app object or this one, anything. Then how we can means, okay, which object you want me to make it available? Which object you want me to make it available? This object like a current object. Okay, F1 or not. So that F1 dot bind of what? F1 dot bind of my current object this. F1 dot bind of my current object this. This one returns me what? Same function, so that you can hold with one of the variable. Instead of creating the new variable, you can hold with the same variable name F1 only. Why? Because my F1 dot bind method returns with the same F1 only. See this. Okay, if it's like same F1, then why I need to create one more variable or something? Already F1 variable you created, right? Okay, my function also variable only. Okay, so that what I'm doing is here just I want returns one function, right? I hold that function with one variable, it's the same variable. Now, if I call my F1, okay, what is the difference between, okay, before bind F1, after bind F1 means, before bind F1, there is no binding, nothing. There is no binding, nothing. After binding my F1, you bind with your current object or not. Here, my current object, oh, not this. So, you can, which object you want me to make it available? Oh, you can put it. It's done. Now you can call. If I call like this, now my this is pointing to my own object. Which object you bind it? O. So that my this is pointing to your O or not. Okay, just wait. Now come here. Now this is my function F1, open one and close one. Okay, here you can write like my console.log of my this. That's done. Now here, if I call my F1 generally, it's pointing to window. I don't want to pointing to window. I have my own object, which object N1. So can we bind this object? How we can bind it? Bind my object like this. Once you bind it, it returns me what? The same function. So that hold with same variable. Now you can call your function. Now my this is pointing to what? Instead of window, it's pointing to my own object or not. For that purpose, we use bind method. If you want to make your object is available like a current object to that particular function, then you can go with call apply bind methods. That is the one. Okay, any other questions? Let's go with another topic. Now save it. Don't save. _HTML. After that, we can change the name based on the topic once you understand. Can anyone explain me the flow? From which line my execution is going to start? If it is only the program, from which line my execution is going to start? From which line my execution is going to start? 16th line. 16th line. Okay. Now, which error you can get it? Recap all these errors once. Just take 5 minutes. Come on. Which error you can get it? If you load like this, which error you can get it? Error message I'm asking. App is not defined. App is not defined. App is not defined. Okay, if you write like this, now, 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 can anyone guess? Okay, one by one we'll see practicals, then you can understand. 1.html. Yeah, inspect it. Go to my console. Okay, app is not defined. App is not defined. This is the one. Okay, app is not defined. Okay, why see this? This part is what first tell me what my browser can understand. This one is like with the help of React library. Any element starts with capital letter. Then that time my browser can understand like what? It's a component. Now it's looking for the component app. Okay, is there any component app is there? No, it's not there. So that it gives me an error like what? App is not defined. Now, if I write like this, can anyone tell? Is my browser treat this one like a component? Is my browser treat this one like a component? No, it's like an element. Is this element recognized by the browser? Is this like W3 element? No, it's not a W3 element. So that app is not like a my element. I'm not able to what is that? I'm not able to recognize that one. See, I'm not able to recognize. It's an unrecognized element. Okay, I can recognize only W3 elements, div, span, mesh, like that. Okay, list, UL, OL, like that. But I never see this particular app element. So that he said like the tag app is unrecognized in this browser. Okay, it's a warning. It's not a error. Okay, nothing is printed. Perfect. Okay, now yes, my execution is going to start from here. Starts from here. Okay, and then come on. Execution is going to start from here. In this case, first it's going to check for what? Recognize component. Okay. First one not recognized. Check for the component, right? Check for the component. Okay. If component is there, no problem. Component is not there. It is what? Component not error message. You can get it or not? Message you can get it. If it is there, now the scenario is what? If it is there, if it is there, component is there. Okay, component is there. What is it going looking for? The component type it is going to check. Component type it is going to check. Yes or no? Is it like a functional component or it's like a class component? Understand? If it is there, at the time it's going to check for what? Type. It's like a functional component or it's like a class component. If it is like a functional component, what my React is going to do? Can anyone guess? If it is like a functional component, simply my React is going to call that function. That's it. Agreed? Okay. If it is like a class component, what my React is going to do? Anyone guess? Okay. Create an object. Okay. With that object. Okay. Create an object. With that object, what is going to do? Create an object is first step. Okay. With that object, he is going to call your render method or not. He is going to call your render method or not. Create an object and call a render method. Okay. Now call that function. Okay. That function returns some value. That value is going to render inside the container. Okay. Here in this case, my render method returns some value. That value is going to render inside this container or not. Agreed? This is the general flow or not. Any component, this is only the way or not. The execution. Yes or no? At the time of loading my component, it is going to check component is there or not. If the component is there, it is going to check for the type. Yes, which type of component. If it is like a functional component, yes, call it. Whatever the function returns, that one is going to display. That one is going to render. If it is like a class component, what it is going to do? It create an object. With that object, he call the render method. Yes or no? So for good. Okay, this is the flow. Now come here, remove it. Now here, it is like a class component. Constructor. So far. Okay, here I'm going to write some values. Okay, console message I can write it. Console.log of my constructor. Here render method is there. My console.log of what is that? Render executed. Okay. Now tell me. inside my console, which message is going to print if I run this file? Inside my console, which messages are going to print? Inside my console, which messages are going to print? Inside my console, say my constructor executed and my render method executed. Why? Why? Because it's a class component. If it's like a class component, what my React is going to do? It is going to create an object. Object created is nothing but what? Yes, my constructor is going to execute to perform initialization. So my constructor contains what? One of the log messages, constructor executed. Once my operation is completed, he calls which method? Render method, so that this method also will execute or not. Yes or not? First time load, how many methods will execute? If it is like a class component, first time load. If the constructor is there, constructor will execute. Anyway, my render is the mandatory one or not? Render is the mandatory one or not? Okay, if the render is not there, okay, can anyone tell? If the render is not there, can anyone tell what is the exact error message? Tell me. The render is not there. What is my exact error message? Huh? If the render is not there, exact error message, tell me. Render method is not defined. No. Okay, what my React is going to do first, tell me. Okay, line number 18. Okay, if it is like a class component, what my React is going to do? My React is going to create an object for this particular class or not. Okay, and then he is going to call what? And then he is going to call render method. See this. My object created for my app. Okay, inside my app, my render is there or not there? Not there. So that my o.render is not there. If the o.render is not there, okay, he created the name with the call of what? Instance. Okay, here the call of what? Instance. Instance is nothing but object. Instance.render is what? Undefined. Okay, if it is like an undefined, are you able to use like a method? No. So that it gives me error like what? Instance.render is not a function. Instance.render is not a function. Understand or not? See this. This is my object. Okay, inside this object render is there or not there? Not there. If the render is not there, what is my value? Inside an object one property is not there, what is my value? Undefined. You are using undefined like a call. Is it possible to call undefined? Only functions I can call. My undefined can't. So that it gives me like instance.render is not a function. This is the one. Understand or not? You forgot all these things. Yes. Now render is there. Yes, render is there. Now my render method is there or not there? Render method is there. Okay, but the purpose of component is what? Okay, you should show some content or not. Okay, you should return some content or not. You should return some content. But my render method returns a content? No. So that it gives me error like what? Nothing was written from the render method. Then what is the use of this component? What is the use of this component? So that it gives me the error like that. So here it should return something or not. These all are like basic things. Okay, okay then. Now inside my render method, the same example you can take it. The same example. Bind current object is there, right? Yes. This one you can take it. Now come here. Can we write that stuff? Yes. Okay. This message is not required. This message is also not required for me. Then can we create one state variable? What is my state variable name? This dot state equals to name is like what? My name is like Sachin. First time. My name is like Sachin. Nothing. See. First time my name is like Sachin. After 5 seconds, my name turned to be Dhoni. After 5 seconds, my name turned to be Kohli. Our concept is like something different. Okay, just you can write now. Now, inside my render method, what you can write? Your content. How much content you can write inside the render method? Can anyone guess? How much content you can write? Any number of lines you can write it or not. Any number of lines of code you can write it. No problem at all. For example, here I have 5,000 lines of code. After 5,000 lines of code, 5,001 line is mine. Okay, it's what? This dot state dot. See this. Overall, how many lines of code is there? 5,000 lines of code is there. 5,000 lines of code is there. Okay. Now this is my render method. Can we write the console message? Okay, render executed. Okay, how many lines of code? Total how many lines of code? This is 5,000 lines of code. Okay, think like that. Okay, this is 5,000 lines of code. This is one line. Total 5,001 lines of code. 5,001 lines of code. Yes. Can you come here? Can I refresh my face? Okay, it gives me some error. Can you fix it? Okay, H3 is not closed. So we close this H3. Now come here. Can I refresh my page? Yes. See this construct executed, render executed with what? 5,000 lines of code or not? Okay, see this. After 5 seconds, my Dhoni. Okay, after 5 seconds, it's turned to be Kohli. Now tell me. First time load, my construct executed, render method executed with 5,000 lines of code. Yes, it's accepted only. First time, how many lines of code is going to show to the end user? 5,001 lines of code. So it should render. After 5 seconds, do you want me to render again 5,000 lines of code? My render method executed, right? My render method executed is nothing but my render method contains how many lines of code? 5,001 lines of code is there. So that again my 5,001 lines of code will execute and it's rendered in the browser or not. After that, my Dhoni turned to be Kohli. That means one more state variable updated. So that again my render method called or not. Total, how many times my 5,001 lines of code is executed? Okay, here it's executed, here. First time is okay. Why? Because first time, if it is not executed, how it is visible to the end user? Next time onwards, I didn't touch this 5,000 lines of code, right? Only my name Sachin turned to be Dhoni. My Dhoni turned to be Kohli. Only this part only I changed. I didn't change this one. But all this code is available there inside the render method only. My render method executed is nothing but what? All the code will re-render again or not? Yes or no? Seems like it's a drawback, right? For each and every state change, my render method will execute. Okay. How many lines of code inside my render method is nothing but I don't know. Okay, based on my requirement, 5,000 lines of code, 10,000 lines of code, multiple components. I don't know that one. Okay, my render method execute is nothing but yes, whatever you written inside the render method, again it is going to execute or not. Okay, seems like it's a drawback or not. For a single state change, every time if my render method is going to call, okay, inside my render method, how many lines of code is there? Each and every line is going to execute and it's going to re-render again or not. If it is really re-render again, then that time it's obviously it's going to impact your performance or not. But if it is really impact on your performance, then why these people are using React? That means my React people handle this scenario effectively or not. Yes or no? My React people handle this scenario effectively or not. How these people handle this scenario means by using virtual DOM concept. By using virtual DOM. Okay, how my virtual DOM is going to work means physically it's not available. Okay, we are not able to show. Okay, that is my React people maintain in the React cache. Okay, how it is internally working, we can discuss. Okay, now come here. Can I change like virtual DOM here? Now can you run this one? Yes. Okay, how my virtual DOM is going to work? That is the question. Okay, let's do it. You can take paint. Yeah. Okay. First time, say very simple thing. Listen carefully. First time, this is my browser. Agreed? This is my browser. Inside my browser, how many lines of code executed? Tell me. How many lines of code loaded? First time load. How many lines of code loaded? Here 5,000 lines of code. Here 5,000 lines of code. And then here such first time load. Okay, Inside my DOM, okay, DOM represents what? Document object model. In the elements tab, whatever the elements you find, is all come under DOM only or not. If you see this, go to my console, okay, here, document. It represents what? It represents what? All your elements or not. All your elements or not. Okay, inside this one, div is there, everything. Okay, this is your DOM representation. Okay, this is my browser DOM or not. Okay, this is my browser DOM. It's my original DOM. What is rendered inside my browser? It's my original DOM or not? Inside my browser. Now, at the time of loading your page, total in my DOM, how many lines of code is there? 5001 lines of code is there. 5001 lines of code is there. Okay, at first time load, what my React people is going to do, okay, it is going to create the same DOM. Okay, same is nothing but a copy of this DOM at first time load in React side, so that they created what? One more equivalent DOM. Okay, see here, two DOMs created at first time load. Okay, one is like your browser DOM to rendering purpose. Another one is like in React cache, my React people created equivalent DOM. At first time load, this DOM and this DOM both are like same. My React people created DOM, right? This is my original DOM, browser DOM, and my React what they created, that is called as a virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. It is equal to your own DOM only. It's just okay, clone to my browser DOM. Okay, here also how many lines of code is there? Here also, if it is like equal, okay, you can say like here also 5000 lines of code is there. 5000 lines of code. Okay, and then first time what? Such. Up here, okay or not? Okay, two parts. One is like this is the browser, and this is what? In the React cache, this is my virtual DOM. Okay, after 5 seconds, what happened? After 5 seconds, my requirement is what? After 5 seconds, what happened? My Sachin turned to be Dhoni or not? Agreed? Are you able to hear me? Can anyone confirm? Yeah. Okay, after 5 seconds, my Sachin turned to be Dhoni or not? Okay, how you make it turn? That means how you change this value, Sachin to Dhoni? By using a state variable updation or not? By using a state variable updation. Now, in the React side only, right? We update the state and everything. Who will take care? Is my browser will take care? No. Am I React code only or not? Okay. See, this part, leave it. Now concentrate on this part. In the React side, you update your Sachin like what? Sachin like Dhoni or not? So, any state variable updated, with that updations, one more DOM is going to create. One more DOM with updations. Okay. What is my updation? Okay. If you do that updation, okay. Can anyone tell? Updated DOM is looks like what? Updated DOM is looks like what? Here, my 5000 lines of code, updated DOM. Okay, with Dhoni or not? Agreed? How my updated DOM is looks like? Which side? Not browser side. Okay, in my React cache side only, React side only. Okay, with the new changes, one new DOM is going to create. Okay, after that, what will happen? Okay, this is my original virtual DOM. With the new changes, one more virtual DOM is going to create it. Now, my React people do like compare this DOM and this DOM. This is a which DOM? This is which DOM? Okay, this is like previous one. This is like updated DOM or not? They compare this DOM and this DOM by using some diff algorithms. It's like very fast. Some diff algorithms. Okay, if you compare this one and this one, okay, first 5000 lines of code is not changed, nothing. So that which change is there? Only this change only there or not? So that in this part only, they made some change like what? They made which change? Okay, they made like what? Dhoni or not? Dhoni. I already told to you, this one and this one. Okay, this is like clone to this one or not? Clone is nothing but any changes are happened here to here, it will come. Any changes are happened here and here to here also, they are going to push. Okay, now once your comparison completed, then that time immediately this DOM is going to remove. Okay, this is not required. Okay, this is completed. Okay, which operation? Your operation is completed or not? Your operation is completed. Then the time once my if algorithm okay did like changes are made, okay, that changes are going to push into your virtual DOM, then the time this work is not okay, this DOM is not required, just it's going to remove. Now your updated changes are here, okay, that changes should push to what? Browser or not? Again, they return some diff algorithms. Okay, exactly in your browser DOM, which part you want me to change? Which part you want me to change? 5000 lines of code, nothing is required. Only my Sachin has to change or not. Okay, my Sachin should be changed like what? Dhoni. Which part they find like, yeah, this is the difference between my virtual DOM to my browser. That part only they are going to push into your browser. That part only they are going to push into your browser. Remaining 5000 lines of code, they never touch. They never touch. For example, only comma you changed. Comma you changed. 5000 lines of code and Dhoni also they removed. Okay, Dhoni also they didn't touch. Which part you changed? Comma you changed, right? That comma only push into your browser. Remaining all elements never touch. That means the re-rendering will never happen. Okay, like this. Okay, 1000 lines of code, 10,000 lines of code is there. Then that what's the problem with that? What's wrong with if not if not render is this in your formats? Obviously no or not. Because reason only. Okay, nowadays only people are using React. If the virtual DOM concept is not there, can you confirm? Is it okay now? Can you confirm? Am I audible? Yeah. If the virtual DOM concept is not there, then that time no one touch React. Because of this reason only, multiple people are using nowadays React. Understand how the virtual DOM is going to work? Okay, I'll repeat again. See, first time in my browser, okay, in a browser, you load. Okay, so that yeah, obviously the comparison they use like default algorithms. Okay, they return effectively those algorithms. They return effectively. Yeah, I got it. Understand? Can you hear me now? Can anyone confirm? Yeah. Okay then. See, this is my first time load. This is my DOM. Inside my DOM, whatever the document elements are there, with the elements they created equivalent DOM, cloned DOM. That is like a virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. Yeah, see this. First time load. Okay, in my browser, you loaded one page. Inside the page, what we have? 5000 lines of code and Sachin is there. 5000 lines of code and Sachin is there. At first time load. Okay, 5000 lines of code and Sachin is there. Okay, agreed? First time. So that inside my DOM also the same elements, right? Okay, how many elements? 5000 lines of elements. Okay, 5000 lines of code is nothing but you para whatever it is you written. Okay, that one and Sachin is there. So at first time load, what my React deploy is going to do? This is my original DOM, browser DOM. They take an equivalent DOM in my React cache. That one we can call like a virtual DOM. So that equal DOM contains what? First time load. Equal DOM contains what? My Dhoni only or Sachin. Which one? First time load. It's like Sachin. So that this is my Sachin. Okay, done. First time load. After 5 seconds, what happened? Can anyone guess? Okay, my DOM changes are happened. That is done by whom? That is done by whom? Not DOM changes, I can say. Okay, state changes are happened. Okay, that is done by whom? My React people. Any changes are happened, any state variable changes or prop values changes, then the time, okay, with that new changes, one more DOM will create. What is that? Okay, with that new changes, one more DOM. This DOM created from where? From my virtual DOM. So that here 5000 lines of code, line lines of code. Okay, after 5 seconds, the value is like what, 𝕤𝕤 or not? Yes. Okay, once my creation and everything is completed, okay, that means my state updations and everything is completed. Now it is going to compare my new DOM, new virtual DOM with my existing virtual DOM, previous virtual DOM, which is coming from it, which is created from my browser DOM. Both are compared by using some diff algorithms. Understand? So for good. Up to okay or not? Can anyone confirm? Yeah. Once my comparison is done by using some diff algorithms, immediately this Sachin replaced with what? 𝕤𝕤. Replaced with 𝕤𝕤. Yes. Okay. Once my comparison completed, then that time they removed this DOM. That's my comparison completed, right? They removed this DOM. Now my updations are happened inside my virtual DOM. My updations are here. Now immediately this one, my original browser DOM and my virtual DOM, both are like in sync. Now again, any changes are happened. Okay, any changes or new changes are there in that virtual DOM. Okay, now they return other comparison algorithms with my original browser DOM. Okay, which changes you made? Which change you made? 5,000 lines of code. Yeah, no change, nothing. Okay, only such in this place only you changed or not. Then that time, which change they find, either comma or D or okay. First, Sachin is not there. Okay, Sachin is replaced with 𝕤𝕤. After that, one dot is there. Dot is going to push. Which change, which character change you made? Okay, that character only they push into your browser DOM. So in this case, okay, my Sachin is going to be like what? My Sachin is like what they found. Okay, this change only or not. Remaining all changes are like what? Remaining 5,000 lines of code. Okay, there is no change, nothing. Then the time there is no need to try. No need to render. Like this, okay, here 50,000 lines of code is there. There is no change, nothing. Then the time there is no render, nothing. Okay, which change you made? They made Sachin turned to be 𝕤𝕤, so that particular element only push into the browser. Remaining all never touch. Okay, that is the reason. It's not impact how many times my render method is going to call. It is not impact on your performance. That's the thing. Agreed? Okay. Okay, then remaining things we'll see in tomorrow's class. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining.